The metal deck of Nexus Station was cold beneath Marcus Chen's worn boots. He walked through the crowded marketplace, keeping his head down. Alien vendors shouted, in a dozen languages. The air smelled like burning oil and exotic spices mixed together. Marcus was human, and humans were not popular here. 5 years ago, everyone knew his name. Marcus Chen, the best pilot in the colonial fleet. Now, people spat when they saw him. He was the pilot who killed 200 colonists. The man who destroyed humanity's trust. That was the story everyone believed. Marcus pulled his jacket tighter. His stomach growled. He had 17 credits left to his name. 17 credits in a station where a meal cost 20. He needed work. But no one would hire him. Not after what happened at Kepler Station. Move, human. A Thoraxian guard grunted, shoving Marcus aside with one of its 4 arms. Marcus stumbled but said nothing. Fighting back would get him arrested. Or worse. He reached the station's salvage bay, a massive hangar filled with broken ships and old technology. Today was auction day. Rich collectors and salvage companies came here to buy wrecked vessels. Marcus came here to watch and remember when he used to fly ships like these. The auctioneer was a Quellan, its blue skin shimmering under the lights. Next item. Lot 73, unknown origin vessel, recovered from the drift. A murmur went through the crowd. The drift was dangerous space where ships went to die. Anything pulled from there was usually worthless junk. Marcus looked up at the ship being displayed on the projection screen. His breath caught in his throat. It was beautiful. The hull was dark, purple, almost black, with strange organic curves. It did not look like it was built. It looked like it had grown. Silver lines traced across its surface in patterns that hurt to look at too long. Vorathian design, someone in the crowd shouted. The entire room went quiet. The Vorathians were legends. An ancient race that vanished 300 years ago. Their technology was beyond anything the current galaxy could create. But nobody had ever successfully activated a Vorathian ship. They were pretty decorations and nothing more. Starting bid, 500 credits, the auctioneer announced. Nobody raised their hand. 400. Still nothing. 200 credits. Surely someone wants this piece of history. The crowd laughed. A broken alien ship that nobody understood? It was worthless. Marcus stared at the projection. Something about the ship called to him. A feeling in his chest. Like recognition. Like coming home. 100 credits. The auctioneer said desperately. Marcus's hand went up before his brain caught up. What was he doing? He only had 17 credits. The auctioneer's eyes widened. We have a bid. 100 credits to the human. Anyone else? I'm Silence. Then more laughter. Stupid human, someone muttered. Buying trash. Sold. To the human. For 100 credits. So, Marcus's heart sank. What had he just done? He did not have 100 credits. He would be arrested for false bidding. His legs felt weak as he approached the auctioneer's desk. Payment? The Quellan asked, holding out a scanner. Aye. Marcus started. Then he saw it. A payment terminal. Glitching. Showing an error. The station's systems were always breaking down. Can I transfer from my ship's account? My personal account is having issues. The auctioneer sighed. Hangar 7B. You have 24 hours to complete payment. Or we take the ship back, and you go to detention. Marcus nodded and left quickly before anyone asked more questions. He had no money and no plan. But he had 24 hours to figure something out. Hangar 7B was in the worst part of the station. The lights flickered. Water dripped from broken pipes. Marcus's new ship sat in the center, dark and silent. Up close, it was even more strange. The hull seemed to shimmer, like it was breathing. Marcus placed his hand on the surface. It was warm. Okay, he whispered to himself. Think. I can strip the hull panels. Sell them to collectors. That should cover the 100 credits, and maybe get me a meal. He found the entry hatch. To his surprise, it was unlocked. The door opened with a soft hiss, revealing a dark corridor inside. Marcus pulled out his flashlight and stepped in. The interior was wrong. The walls curved in impossible ways. The floor felt soft, almost spongy. Everything was dark, but Marcus could see faint patterns in the walls, like veins beneath skin. This is crazy, Marcus muttered. Talking to yourself in a dead alien ship. You have really hit bottom, Chen. He made his way to what looked like the cockpit. The pilot's chair was strange, too organic. It looked more like a living thing than furniture. Marcus sat down carefully. The moment he touched the armrests, everything changed. Light exploded through the ship. Not electric light, but something alive. Blue and silver patterns raced across the walls like lightning. The chair shifted beneath him, adjusting to his body. Marcus tried to stand, but he could not move. Then he heard it. A voice. Not through his ears, but inside his mind. You can hear me? Marcus froze, his heart hammered in his chest. Who's there? After all this time. Someone finally hears me? The voice was feminine, filled with surprise, and something like hope. The lights pulsed brighter with each word. This isn't real, Marcus said. I am hallucinating. Hunger does that. You are real. You are here. How is this possible? Ships don't talk, Marcus shouted. I am not just a ship. I am Lisanne, and I have been waiting so long for someone who could hear me. The walls rippled with color. Marcus realized the patterns were not decorations. They were part of the ship itself. The ship was alive. His communicator beeped. A message from station security. Unauthorized alien technology activation. Detected in Hangar 7B. Inspection scheduled in 48 hours. Any active xenotech will be confiscated under Nexus Station Regulation 774. Marcus stared at the message, then at the glowing walls around him. Lisanne? He said quietly. Yes? I think we are both in very big trouble. Marcus did not sleep that night. How could he? His ship was talking to him. Inside his head, every time he tried to leave the pilot's chair, Lisanne's presence grew stronger, pulling him back. Please do not go, she whispered in his mind. I have been alone for so long. I need food, Marcus said, and water. Humans need these things to survive. There are supplies in the storage chamber. Third corridor. Left side. My previous pilot left emergency rations. Marcus's eyes widened. Your previous pilot? When? I do not remember clearly. My memory is damaged. But it was long ago. Very long ago. Marcus found the storage chamber. Inside were sealed containers, marked with Vorithian symbols. He opened one carefully. The food inside looked strange, but smelled okay. He ate slowly, sitting on the floor of the chamber. Lisanne, what are you exactly? He asked. I am a living ship. My people, the Vorithians, created us through biological engineering and quantum bonding. We are not machines. We are alive. We think. We feel. We need a pilot who can connect with us mentally. And I can do that? Connect with you? Yes. I do not understand why. But your mind resonates with my consciousness. Most beings cannot hear us at all. Even most Vorithians could only bond with one specific ship in their lifetime. You should not be able to hear me. But you do. Marcus finished eating and returned to the cockpit. The patterns on the walls pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. He sat back in the pilot's chair. Lisanne, station security is coming in 48 hours. They will take you apart to study you. I cannot let that happen. Then we must leave. Leave? Can you even fly? I am damaged, yes. My systems are not fully functional. But with your help, I can repair myself. Place your hands on the control interface. Marcus looked at the console in front of him. It was not like any ship controls he had ever seen. No buttons, no switches. Just smooth surfaces with those strange silver patterns running through them. He placed his hands flat on the console. Information flooded his mind. Not words or images, but pure understanding. He could feel Lisan's damaged systems like they were his own injured body. A tear in her hull near the engine section. Corrupted memory banks in her navigation core. Depleted energy reserves in her quantum drive. I can see it all, Marcus whispered. I can see what is wrong with you. Yes. Now help me fix it. Guide me. Tell me what to repair first. Marcus closed his eyes and focused. His years of pilot training kicked in. Energy first. Without power, nothing else matters. Your quantum core needs realignment. I will try. Marcus felt the ship shudder. Deep inside Lisan's systems, something shifted. The lights brightened slightly. The warmth in the walls increased. It is working. You understand me in ways I have never experienced. How is this possible? I do not know, Marcus admitted. But we make a good team. They worked through the night. Marcus, identifying problems. Lisan repairing herself with his guidance. It was like nothing he had ever experienced. He was not just piloting a ship. He was partnering with a living being. By morning, Lisan's basic systems were operational. Her engines could fire. Her shields could activate. Her navigation was still damaged, but she could fly. We need to leave before security arrives, Marcus said. But there is a problem. The hangar doors are locked, and I still owe the station 100 credits for buying you. I can override the door controls. As for the debt, I am sorry, Marcus. Because of me, you are in trouble. Don't be sorry. You are the most interesting thing that has happened to me in 5 years. They were about to attempt their escape when Marcus's communicator exploded with alerts. Someone was cutting through the hangar door. But it was not station security. It was the Krell. Marcus had heard stories about the Krell Syndicate. Technology pirates who stole and sold alien artifacts across the black market. They were brutal, efficient, and never took no for an answer. The hangar door exploded inward. 5 Krell warriors stormed in, their gray skin covered in tactical armor. Their leader was massive, carrying a plasma rifle that could punch through ship hulls. Human, the leader roared. Step away from the Vorathian ship. It belongs to the Syndicate now. Marcus stood slowly, his hands raised. I bought this ship legally. It is mine. Legal? The Krell leader laughed. You activated Vorathian technology. Do you know what that is worth? Trillions of credits. More wealth than your entire pathetic species possesses. Marcus, I can fight them, Lisan said in his mind. My weapons are damaged, but functional. No, Marcus whispered. Not yet. What did you say, human? The Krell leader aimed his rifle at Marcus's chest. I said this ship is not for sale. Then you will die. The Krell leader's finger tightened on the trigger. Marcus dropped flat to the floor. At the same moment, Lisan's hull opened up panels. Marcus had not known existed. Energy weapons emerged, glowing with blue light. She fired. The blast was not like normal ship weapons. It was surgical, precise. The energy struck the Krell warriors' rifles, melting them instantly but leaving the Krell themselves unharmed. I do not kill unless I must, Lisan explained. But I can defend us. The Krell leader roared in fury and charged at Marcus with bare hands. Marcus rolled away, but the Krell was fast. Too fast. A huge gray hand grabbed Marcus's jacket and lifted him off the ground. You think you can escape? We tracked the activation signature across 3 sectors. Every pirate and collector in the galaxy knows a Vorathian ship is active. Marcus kicked hard, hitting the Krell's arm joint. The grip loosened. He fell and scrambled toward the pilot's chair. "Lee-san, get us out of here. The hangar doors are still closed." "Then open them." Marcus threw himself into the pilot's chair. His hands hit the controls. Instantly, he and Lee-san became one mind. He felt her engines like his own legs, her shields like his own skin, her weapons like his own fists. The hangar doors exploded outward as Lee-san overrode every security protocol simultaneously. Her engines roared to life. The Krell warriors scattered as the ship lifted off the deck. They shot out of the hangar into open space. Nexus Station's defense grid immediately locked onto them. Warning sirens blared. But Lee-san was faster than any ship Marcus had ever flown. She twisted through space in ways that should have been impossible. Her hull seemed to fold, slipping between dimensions. The station's weapons fired, but they hit empty space. Lee-san was already somewhere else. They broke free of the station's gravity well and accelerated. Marcus felt Lee-san's joy mixing with his own adrenaline. "We did it! We escaped!" "Not yet," Marcus said, checking the sensors. "Look." Behind them, 5 Krell pursuit ships were launching from the station. Fast attack vessels designed for hunting, and they were gaining speed. But something else appeared on the sensors. Something that made Marcus's blood run cold. Beyond the Krell ships, farther out in deep space, 3 massive contacts were emerging from fold space. Ships unlike anything in the database. Their hulls were black, absorbing light instead of reflecting it. Their energy signatures were wrong. Twisted. "No," Lee-san whispered. And for the first time, Marcus heard fear in her voice. "No. It cannot be. They found me." "Who?" "Lee-san. Who are they?" "The collective. The ones who destroyed my people. The reason I was abandoned. Marcus, they are here. And they are following us." The 3 massive black ships changed course, heading straight for Listen. Marcus gripped the controls tighter. "Then we run. How far can you jump?" "With my damaged systems?" "Not far enough." The Krell ships were closing from behind. The collective ships were closing from the front. And Marcus and Lee-san were caught in between, with nowhere to run. "Well," Marcus said quietly, "I guess this is where we find out just how good of a team we really are." Marcus pushed Lee-san to her limits. The ship twisted through space, dodging plasma fire from the Krell vessels behind them. The 3 massive collective ships moved like predators, cutting off escape routes with calculated precision. "We cannot outrun them both," Marcus shouted. "There is a nebula, 2 degrees starboard. If we reach it, the electromagnetic interference will hide us." Marcus saw it on the sensors. The Crimson Veil, a massive cloud of ionized gas and cosmic dust. Ships avoided it because sensors went blind inside. Communications failed. It was a death trap. It was also their only chance. "Hold on," Marcus yanked the controls hard. Lee-san responded instantly, banking sharply. The Krell ships fired again, but Lee-san's shields absorbed the hits. Barely. They plunged into the nebula. Instantly, everything went red. The view outside became a swirling storm of crimson clouds. Lightning cracked across the gas, illuminating strange formations. The sensors screamed with static. "I cannot see anything," Lee-san said nervously. "Then we fly blind. Together." Marcus closed his eyes. He stopped relying on instruments. Instead, he felt Lee-san. Her hull sensors became his skin. Her quantum field awareness became his instinct. Together, they navigated by pure intuition. Behind them, the Krell ships entered the nebula. But they relied on their instruments. They flew blind and stupid. Marcus heard explosions as two of them collided with each other in the red fog. The collective ships did not enter. They waited outside, patient and silent, like spiders at the edge of a web. Lysan found a pocket of calmer space deep inside the nebula, a small clearing where the gas was thinner. She settled down, her engines cooling, her shields barely functioning. "We bought ourselves time," Marcus said, breathing hard. "But not much. You said your memory is damaged. Can we fix it?" "It is dangerous. My memory cores are biological. If we access them wrong, I could lose what little I remember. My memory cores of ARD. All are. My memory cores are biological. It is dangerous. But if we do not try, we will never understand what we are running from." "Lysan, I need to know what the collective is. Why they are hunting you." There was a long silence. Then, "You are right. I will open my memory cores. But Marcus, you must guide me. If I start to fracture, you must pull me back." Marcus stood and walked deeper into the ship. Lysan guided him to a chamber he had not seen before. The walls here pulsed with light, like a living brain. In the center floated a crystalline structure, glowing with soft blue light. "Your memory core," Marcus whispered. "Yes, place your hands on it. Our minds will merge deeper than before. You will see my past." Marcus reached out. The moment his fingers touched the crystal, the world disappeared. He was no longer Marcus Chen. He was Lysan, 300 years ago. The Vorathian homeworld was beautiful. Floating cities of living architecture stretched across a purple sky. Millions of Vorathians moved through the streets, their elegant forms shimmering with natural bioluminescence. And in orbit, hundreds of living ships like Lysan danced among the stars. The Vorathians were peaceful, advanced. They believed in partnership, not conquest. They created living ships not as weapons, but as companions. Each Vorathian bonded with one ship, and together they explored the galaxy. Then the collective arrived. They came without warning. Massive black ships that did not communicate, did not negotiate. They simply attacked. But they did not destroy. They consumed. Marcus watched in horror as collective vessels attached themselves to Vorathian cities. Strange tendrils extended from the black ships, drilling into buildings, into ships, into people. And they absorbed everything. Technology, knowledge, memories, culture. The collective did not just kill, they erased entire civilizations, taking everything that made them unique and adding it to their hive mind. The Vorathians fought back. Their living ships were powerful, fast, impossible to predict. But the collective adapted. They learned. They evolved with every battle. In desperation, the Vorathians made a final choice. They programmed their living ships to go dormant, to hide, to wait for worthy partners from other species. The ships would choose pilots not by species, but by character, by the ability to form genuine bonds. "Why?" Marcus asked, his voice echoing in the memory. "Why did you need partners from other species?" "Because the collective cannot understand partnership. They only understand domination and absorption. They could copy our technology, but they could never bond with our ships. A living ship without a true partner is just a vessel. But with the right bond, we become something they cannot predict or control." Marcus saw Lysan's last memory of her homeworld. Her pilot, a young Vorathian named Kelresh, crying as he sent her into deep space. "Live, live, live, live," he told her. "Wait for someone worthy. And when you find them, teach the galaxy what we learned. Teach them that connection is stronger than conquest." Then the memory ended. The collective harvested the planet below. The beautiful cities crumbled. The living ships that stayed behind fought bravely, but fell, one by one. The Vorathian civilization died in a single day. Marcus pulled his hands back from the crystal, gasping. Tears ran down his face. He had felt Lyson's grief, her 300 years of loneliness, her hope dying slowly in the dark. "I am so sorry," he whispered. "Now you understand. The collective is coming to human space. They follow quantum signatures from advanced technology. Your species' faster-than-light travel acts like a beacon to them. They are drawn to developing civilizations, and they will harvest humanity just as they harvested my people." Marcus felt cold. "How long do we have? Based on the speed of those 3 scout ships? Perhaps 3 months before the main collective fleet arrives at human colonies. We have to warn them. We have to tell the colonial fleet. They will not believe you, Marcus. You are a disgraced pilot, and I am technology they do not understand. They will try to take me apart, study me, weaponize me, just like the Krell wanted to. Then we make them believe. We show them proof." Suddenly, Lysand's proximity alarms blared. The Krell had found them in the nebula. 3 ships, damaged but still functional, closing in on their position. But that was not the worst part. One of the collective scout ships had entered the nebula. And it was not flying blind like the Krell. Somehow, it could track Lysand perfectly through the electromagnetic interference. "They can sense you," Marcus realized. "They know what you are." Yes. The collective marked all living ships during the war. They can always find us. The Krell ships opened fire. The collective ship did not fire at all. It just moved closer, slowly, inevitably. Marcus could see tendrils extending from its black hull, ready to drill into Lysan and consume her. "I am not letting them take you," Marcus said fiercely. He ran back to the cockpit and threw himself into the pilot's chair. "Lysan, I need you to trust me completely. Can you do that?" "With my life." "Good, because I have a very stupid plan." Marcus fired Lysan's engines. They shot forward, heading straight toward the collective ship. The Krell vessels, confused, fired at both of them. Marcus spun Lysan in a corkscrew pattern, using the Krell's plasma fire as cover. At the last second, he dove beneath the collective ship. Its tendrils lashed out, but Lysan was too fast. Marcus led all of them toward a dense concentration of the nebula's gas, where lightning storms crackled with enough energy to fry any ship's systems. "On my mark, divert all power to shields." "That is insane. We will be flying completely blind." "Exactly. Now." Lysan cut her engines and diverted every bit of power to her forward shields. They became a projectile, momentum carrying them forward into the lightning storm. The electricity hammered against the shields, but held. Behind them, the Krell ships and the collective ship, still running full power, had no time to adjust. The storm's lightning found their active systems. The Krell ships exploded in brilliant flashes. The collective ship's systems overloaded, its black hull cracking with electrical feedback. Lysan coasted through the storm and out the other side of the nebula into clear space. Marcus rerouted power back to engines. They jumped into faster-than-light travel, leaving the damaged collective ship behind. For several minutes, neither spoke. Then Lysan laughed. It was a beautiful sound in Marcus's mind. That was the most reckless, illogical, impossible piloting I have ever experienced. Is that a compliment? Yes. Marcus, we make an excellent team. But now what? We cannot hide forever. Marcus set coordinates for human space. For New Horizon Station, the Colonial Fleet's main base. Now we do something even more reckless. We warn humanity, and we pray they listen before it is too late. And if they try to take me apart, then we do not let them. Together. Together, Lysan agreed softly. I think Kelresh would have liked you, Marcus Chen. As they flew toward human space, neither of them noticed the small signal beacon the collective ship had attached to Lysan's hull during their close pass. A tiny tracker, feeding their location to the main collective fleet. The harvest was coming. And it knew exactly where to find them. New Horizon Station appeared on the sensors like a steel fortress. It was humanity's largest military outpost, home to the colonial defense fleet. Hundreds of warships orbited the massive structure. Defense platforms bristled with weapons. It was supposed to be humanity's safest place. Marcus felt his stomach twist as they approached. This station represented everything he had lost. 5 years ago, he had been a hero here. Now, he was a criminal. Unidentified vessel. State your designation and purpose. A stern voice crackled over the communication channel. Marcus took a deep breath. This is Marcus Chen, former lieutenant of the Colonial Fleet. I am requesting emergency audience with Fleet Command. I have critical intelligence regarding an existential threat to humanity. There was a long pause. Then, Marcus Chen? The Marcus Chen. Stand by for security escort. 6 fighter ships surrounded Lisan immediately, weapons locked. Marcus felt Lisan's nervousness through their bond. They do not trust you. I know, but we have to try. They were guided to a secure hangar bay. The moment Lisan touched down, armed Marines surrounded the ship. An officer with cold eyes approached, scanner in hand. Marcus Chen, you are under arrest for desertion, possession of illegal alien technology, and violation of Nexus Station trade laws. Exit the vessel immediately, with your hands visible. Marcus stepped out slowly, hands raised. I need to speak to Admiral Korsky. It is urgent. Admiral Korsky has no interest in speaking with you, the officer said. 2 Marines grabbed Marcus's arms roughly. Take him to detention. Wait, you do not understand. There is an alien force coming to harvest human colonies. They destroyed an entire civilization. I have proof. The Marines dragged him away. Behind him, he felt Lisan's panic through their mental link. Marcus, what about me? Do not let them inside you. Marcus shouted as they pulled him through the hangar doors. Do not open your systems to anyone. The detention cell was small and cold. Marcus paced like a caged animal. Hours passed. Then days. Nobody came to question him. Nobody wanted to hear what he had to say. On the 3rd day, the cell door finally opened. A young woman, in a lieutenant's uniform, entered. She had kind eyes and carried a data pad. I am Lieutenant Amira Okafor, Tactical Analysis Division, she said quietly. I am not supposed to be here. Then why are you? Because I believe you. She pulled up a star map on her data pad. 3 weeks ago, Research Station Delta 7 went silent. No distress call. No emergency beacon. Just gone. 2 weeks ago, the mining colony on Ferris Prime stopped responding. Same pattern. Last week, the science outpost on Kepler's Edge. All on the outer rim. All disappeared without a trace. Marcus felt ice in his veins. The collective. They are already here. 4. The what? The species that is harvesting colonies. They are called the collective. They are a hive mind that consumes entire civilizations. They take technology, memories, culture, everything. And they are heading toward the core human worlds. Amira stared at him. How do you know this? My ship, Lisan. She is Vorathian, a living ship. She survived when the collective destroyed her people 300 years ago. She has records, historical data, sensor logs, of collective vessels. Everything you need to verify what I am saying. A living ship? Amira's eyes widened. The Vorathian vessel in Hangar 12? It is alive? Oh. Amira's eyes. 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 Yes. And she can prove everything. But you need to convince Command to listen before it is too late. Amira looked at her data pad, Then at Marcus. She made a decision. Wait here. She left. Marcus waited, hope and fear battling in his chest. Hours passed again. Finally, the door opened. But it was not Amira. Admiral Korsky stepped into the cell. He was older than Marcus remembered. Gray hair at his temples, lines of stress on his face. His expression was pure contempt. "So the coward returns," Korsky said coldly. "Do you know what you cost us at Kepler Station, Chen? 200 lives. 200 families destroyed because you decided your judgment was better than orders. I saved 47 people that day," Marcus said quietly. The official evacuation route was compromised. I knew it. I made a choice. You made the wrong choice, and now you come back with fairy tales about alien invaders? Trying to redeem yourself with lies? They are not lies. Lieutenant Okafor showed you the pattern. Colonies are disappearing. The collective is real. And they are coming. Okafor is a junior officer who let her imagination run wild. As for your alleged alien ship, our engineers have been trying to access its systems for 3 days. It will not respond. Because it is a derelict. A piece of junk you somehow activated temporarily. Lisan will not open herself to people who want to cut her apart. She is alive, Admiral. She thinks, she feels, she remembers, and she knows how to fight the collective. Korsky's face reddened. Enough. You are delusional. You will be transferred to a prison facility on Earth to await trial for your crimes, and your living ship will be dismantled and studied properly. You are making a mistake, Marcus said desperately. When the collective main fleet arrives, humanity will not be ready. They will harvest every colony, every station, every world, and you will remember this conversation when it is too late. Take him away, Korsky ordered the guards. As they dragged Marcus out, he reached out mentally to Lisan. I am sorry. I failed. No, Marcus, you tried. That is all anyone can do. Marcus was thrown into a transport ship bound for Earth. But as the ship prepared to launch, alarms suddenly blared throughout New Horizon Station. Red emergency lights flashed. The transport's pilot received an urgent message. All ships hold position. We have a situation. Through the transport's window, Marcus saw it. On the station's long-range sensors, a contact appeared. Then another. Then 10 more. Then 100. A massive fleet was emerging from fold space at the edge of the system. Black ships with hulls that absorbed light. The distinctive energy signatures Marcus had seen in Lisan's memories. The collective had arrived. And they were not scouts this time. This was a harvest fleet. In the command center, Admiral Korsky stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Captain Helena Vasquez, his second in command, stood beside him, her face pale. Sir, those energy signatures do not match any known species, she reported. They are not responding to hails. They are just advancing, slowly, like they have all the time in the world. How many? Korsky asked. At least 300 capital ships, and they are launching smaller vessels, thousands of them. Korsky's hand trembled. He thought of Marcus Chen's warning, of the missing colonies, of the pattern he had dismissed. Get me Marcus Chen, he said quietly. Now. Within minutes, Marcus was brought to the command center, still in restraints. He looked at the tactical display and felt his heart sink. Even more ships than he feared. You were right, Korsky said, the words clearly painful. Tell me how to fight them. You cannot. Not with conventional weapons. The collective adapts too fast. They learn from every attack. Your fleet will last maybe an hour before they figure out your tactics and counter them. Then what do we do? Captain Vasquez demanded. Marcus looked at them both. We need Lisan. We need living ships. They are the only things the collective cannot predict because they require genuine partnership, not programmed responses. The Vorathians designed them specifically to fight the collective. One ship against 300? Korsky shook his head. That is suicide. Not one ship. Many ships. Lisan told me there is a Vorathian graveyard world. Hundreds of dormant living ships, waiting for partners. If we can reach it, if we can awaken them. We do not have time. Vasquez interrupted. They will be here in hours. Amira Okafor spoke up from her console. Sir, what if we buy time? The fleet engages the collective here, while a small team takes the Vorathian ship to find others. It is a long shot, but it is the only shot we have. Korsky looked at the advancing black fleet. At his officers. At Marcus. He had spent 5 years hating this man. But right now, Marcus Chen was humanity's only hope. Release him, Korsky ordered. Chen, you will take a volunteer crew to this graveyard world. Captain Vasquez, you will go with him. Vasquez's eyes widened. Sir, my place is here, commanding the defense. Your place is ensuring humanity survives, Korsky said firmly. I will hold them as long as I can. You make sure our sacrifice means something. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. I will need pilots. Good ones. People who can bond with living ships. You will have them, Korsky promised. Then he did something Marcus never expected. The Admiral extended his hand. I was wrong about you, Lieutenant Chen. Forgive an old fool. Marcus shook his hand. Hold the line, Admiral. As Marcus ran toward the hangar where Lisan waited, the collective fleet drew closer. On New Horizon Station, hundreds of human ships launched to face an enemy they did not understand. Admiral Korsky watched them go from the command center. He knew most would not survive, but if they bought Marcus enough time, maybe humanity would. All ships, Korsky broadcast. This is Admiral Korsky. Today we face an enemy unlike any before. They believe we are just another species to harvest. Let us show them what it means to face humanity. For Earth, for the colonies, for our children, engage. The colonial fleet charged forward to meet the darkness. And in Hangar 12, Marcus placed his hand on Lisan's hull. Are you ready for this? I have waited 300 years for this moment, Marcus. Let us wake my brothers and sisters. Let us teach the collective what true partnership means. Lisan's engines roared to life, and the race to save humanity began. Lisan shot through space faster than any human ship could follow. Behind her, the battle at New Horizon Station lit up the darkness with weapons fire. Marcus felt each explosion like a distant heartbeat through their bond. Stay focused, Captain Vasquez said from the passenger section. She had brought 11 other pilots with her. The best humanity had. Lieutenant Amira Okafor sat among them. Nervous, but determined. Coordinates locked, Marcus said. The Vorathian graveyard world. 3 hours at maximum speed. I can feel them, Lisan whispered in his mind. My brothers and sisters. Still sleeping. Still waiting. The 3 hours felt like 3 years. Marcus kept checking sensors, expecting collective ships to appear at any moment. But the space remained clear. The main fleet was focused on New Horizon Station. Finally, a planet appeared on the sensors. It was gray and lifeless, surrounded by a massive orbital ring. But as they got closer, Marcus realized the ring was not a structure. It was ships. Hundreds of them. Living ships, dormant, waiting. They floated in perfect formation around the dead world, their hulls dark and cold. Some were small like Lisan. Others were massive, the size of human carriers. All were beautiful in their strange organic way. My God, Vasquez breathed. There must be 500 ships here. 473, Lisan said. The last survivors of my species fleet. My family. Lisan descended toward the planet's surface. There was a structure there, partially buried in dust. A Vorathian facility, ancient but still functional. They landed. Marcus led the group into the structure. Inside, the walls were covered in the same bioluminescent patterns as Lysan. Text in Vorathian language glowed softly. "What does it say?" Amira asked. "Instructions," Lysan translated. "For any species that finds this place, the living ships wait for worthy partners. To bond with a ship, one must approach with an open heart, not with desire to control or conquer. Approach with partnership in mind. Approach with trust." Marcus turned to the gathered pilots. "Listen carefully. These ships are alive. They are not machines you command. They are partners you work with. The Vorathians designed them to respond to genuine connection. If you approach thinking you will control them, they will not wake. You must approach as equals." "How do we do that?" one pilot asked nervously. "Be honest. Be yourself. Show them who you are, not who you think they want you to be." 7. Vasquez stepped forward. "Then let us begin. Humanity does not have time for practice runs." They returned to orbit. Each pilot took a shuttle to a different dormant ship. Marcus watched from Lysan as they approached the sleeping vessels. Lieutenant Okafor reached a medium-sized ship with silver patterns across its hull. She placed her hand on the hull and closed her eyes. "Hello," she said softly. "My name is Amira. I am scared. I have never done anything like this before, but my people are dying, and I want to help save them. Will you help me?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then light rippled across the ship's hull. The patterns glowed. A voice spoke in Amira's mind, male and warm. "I am Kethryn. I have been waiting so long for someone like you. Yes, I will help." Amira laughed with joy and relief. "It worked, Marcus, it worked." One by one, the other pilots made contact. Not all succeeded immediately. Some ships did not respond. The bond had to be right, genuine. But slowly, ships began to wake. Captain Vasquez approached the largest ship in the graveyard. A massive carrier-class vessel that dwarfed even Lysan. She was older, more experienced. She placed both hands on the hull. "I am Helena Vasquez," she said firmly. "I have commanded human ships for 20 years. I have lost crew members. I have made hard decisions. I am not perfect, but I do not quit. If you wake for me, I promise to treat you as a partner, not a weapon. Together, we can save lives." The ship shuddered. Its massive hull lit up with patterns of gold and blue. A deep, ancient voice filled Vasquez's mind. "I am Vormak. I was a defender of worlds. I will be so again. Welcome, Helena Vasquez. Let us fly, together." Within 2 hours, 43 ships had bonded with human pilots. 43 partnerships formed between species, separated by 3 centuries. It was not the full fleet, but it was a start. Marcus gathered everyone through communication channels. "The collective is at New Horizon Station right now. Admiral Korsky and the Colonial Fleet are dying to buy us time. We cannot let their sacrifice be meaningless. These living ships are faster, smarter, and more adaptable than anything the collective has faced before. But we are still outnumbered. We must fight as one unit. Trust your ships, trust each other, and trust that partnership is stronger than programming." "Well said, Marcus," Lysan whispered proudly. They jumped to fold space together. 43 living ships moving as one organism. Each pilot felt their ship's joy, their excitement, their purpose. For 300 years, they had slept. Now they were awake, and they were not alone. They emerged at New Horizon Station into hell. The collective fleet had destroyed half the human ships. Admiral Korsky's flagship was burning. Stations were cracked open like eggs. The black collective vessels moved through the debris. Their tendrils extended. harvesting technology and data from the wreckage. "Oh God," Amira whispered. "Are we too late?" "No," Marcus said firmly. "We end this now. All ships, engage." The living ships dove into battle like avenging angels. They moved in ways the collective could not predict. Lisanne spun through space, her weapons firing with surgical precision. She targeted the collective tendrils, cutting them off before they could harvest more ships. Catherine and Amira fought as one being, his speed and her tactical mind creating impossible maneuvers. Vormak, massive and powerful, placed himself between the collective and the surviving human ships, his shields absorbing hits that would have destroyed entire fleets. The collective adapted quickly, as they always did. They learned the living ship's tactics and adjusted. But then, something unexpected happened. The human pilots improvised. Marcus suddenly changed his attack pattern mid-flight, not because it was tactical, but because he felt it was right. Lisanne responded instantly, trusting his instinct. They struck a collective command ship from an angle that made no logical sense, but it worked. Amira started humming a song her mother used to sing. Catherine found the rhythm beautiful and matched his movements to it, creating an unpredictable dance through the battlefield. Vasquez made a decision based purely on gut feeling, charging directly at 3 collective ships. Vormak trusted her completely, and together, they broke through the enemy formation. The collective could not understand. These tactics made no sense. There was no pattern, no logic. The hive mind tried to adapt, but how could it adapt to intuition? To trust? To partnership? The living ships pressed their advantage. More collective vessels fell. The Black Fleet, for the first time in centuries, retreated. Not in fear, but in confusion. This did not compute. On Admiral Korsky's damaged flagship, the old admiral watched the tide turn. The collective fleet began withdrawing to fold space. The living ships pursued, cutting off stragglers. Within an hour, the enemy was gone. The harvest fleet had failed. Marcus brought Lisanne alongside Korsky's flagship. The admiral's face appeared on the communication screen, tired but smiling. "Lieutenant Chen, you did it." "We all did it, sir. Humans and Vorathians together." Korsky nodded slowly. "I owe you an apology. A proper one this time. You were right about everything. About partnership. About trust. About what makes us human. Keep the apology, sir. Just help us find more pilots. There are over 400 living ships still dormant. We need to wake them all. Because the collective will come back. And next time, they will be ready for us." "Then we had better be ready for them," Korsky said. In the days that followed, word spread across human space. The disgraced pilot Marcus Chen had saved humanity. The living ships were real, and humanity was offering something unprecedented. Genuine partnership with alien consciousness. Volunteers flooded in, not just pilots, but people from all walks of life. The living ships did not care about military rank or experience. They cared about character, about openness, about the ability to form true bonds. More ships awakened. The fleet grew, and with it, a new doctrine emerged. Not human ships with alien technology, but true partnerships between species. Each bond was unique. Each partnership created something greater than the sum of its parts. Marcus stood on the observation deck of New Horizon Station, watching the living ships practice maneuvers together. Lisanne's presence was warm in his mind. "You have given my people a second chance, Marcus. Through humanity, we live again." "You gave us something too," Marcus said quietly. "You reminded us that our greatest strength is not our weapons or our technology. It is our ability to connect, to trust, to build bridges instead of walls. The collective will return. I know. But when they do, they will find something they have never encountered before. Not just one species, but two. Not conquerors or slaves, but partners. And that is something no hive mind can ever understand or defeat. Far out in deep space, the collective fleet regrouped. The hive mind analyzed the battle, trying to understand what had happened. The data made no sense. Partnership, trust, intuition. These were variables it could not process. For the first time in its existence, the collective felt something it had never known: uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, humanity and the Vorathians had found their weapon. Not violence or superior firepower, but something far more powerful: hope, connection, and the unshakable belief that together they could face anything. Marcus smiled as Lyson's joy flowed through their bond. They had won the first battle, and together they would win the war. Because partnership, as it turned out, was the most human thing of all.